because today we are rocking the Power Sword, Block Power Sword Assault with Precision Strike and pretty much all the charge perks we can. See, so we can do this and almost one-shot them. Now this Power Sword is the Artificer one, so it is slower, but does a lot more damage. And our Power Rake isn't too bad. Look at that. Quite the chunk of damage. This was already pretty decent at killing guys, but now I'm kind of curious to see what a double charge block would do here. Oh, this is probably one of the harder of the look at that. I would say this is probably one of the harder to use block weapons because it's very slow. It's almost slower than the Thunder Hammer at times. It does hit like a truck. See, we're just chunking off that HP. Crazy. Ton of damage. That's with no charges too. So Power Rake is definitely doing quite a bit. So that's cool.
Decimus, if you observe the rites of reverence with half the devotion you wield a chainsaw, you would be an exemplar of our character.
Reciting lengthy liturgies is no substitute for killing Xenos.
And yet, I find the time for both.
If you would like to test how your devotion is mine, my blade is ready anytime.
Well, let's shoot this guy in the face. Alright, once you're dead, so I can use this on the other guy. Where is he at? Oh, thank you. I'll get back here. I doubt he took any damage from that, but we have the bonus damage here. Did a ton to him. There we go.
The Xenos artillery lives no more. The air is thicker with unnatural energies, be they psychic or Xenos in nature.
This one feels like I'm fighting with like a Return of the Jedi lightsaber where they're all supposed to be like 100 pounds. Well, not the lightsabers being 100 pounds, but I guess for a Space Marine it has to be way heavier to move like this. It is kind of odd to have a weapon speed this slow. Like, who trained this guy to swing a sword? Real talk. Let's throw another one. Oh, well, that was a wasted grenade. Whatever. Take the gene seed. I've always been a big fan of Decapitation. Hive Tyrant's a pretty fun boss. I like the Trigon. I just don't like how much of like a little mole he is. Where he'll just come out and like not let you fight him for a bit. I don't really like boss fights where they deny you fighting the boss. Alright, don't jump. Stay right there.
The world is Xenos consuming. Now consume.
Throw up. I'd be afraid if we didn't have like a bajillion block damage right now, or excuse me, range damage. I don't want to sit right in the bramble. Hey, this looks a little spicy. Alright, no move.
The Xenos infestation.
There we go. Now let's kill your friends.
Swapping magazine.
Now, I did something to my game that made my performance good as shit. But that's okay. We'll fix that later. For now, we'll kill. I'm surprised that hit me. That's okay.
Your reign of terror ends.
That no knockback resist is damn good though. That is a mandatory perk on this class for your prestige. It changes how the whole thing functions, really. It also makes this block weapon in particular, and by the perk I'm mentioning is Adrenaline Boost. Maybe I'll put it on the screen if I upload this. Probably not, I'll probably forget. But Adrenaline Boost just one for no knockback. In case I'm curious, and that really helps with block weapons in particular. Because having knockback can take away your charges, and knockback resist is quite fundamental to making them slap. You can trade into enemies. That was the unblockable there. Or just go to this bomb area. This place can be a little irritating, though you should know if you're playing solo with bots, you will have only 3 to 4 plant locations on this. It will never give you 6. It does register if they are actual players or not. So Hive Tyrant is probably one of the easiest missions to solo. For a multitude of reasons. That is among them. Okay. Ow. Can't even get up. God, this weapon's so damn slow.
That pitiful Xenos was but no horror.
Alright, let's land on you. Fireball these snipers, man. Get out of here. That was obnoxious when you're playing a slow weapon. The animation lock. That's the beauty of a block, power sword, and bulwark right now. Probably slaps even harder. Because he has the animation cancel, so he can really take advantage of the weapon despite its slow speed and not get locked. Look at that power rig. Pretty damn good, huh? I like it. That's quite the buff. I'm glad they were listening, because Power Sword for a long time was really in a place that it was just significantly worse than the other options for no real reason I can see. Oh, thank God that heavy bailed me out. Ow. Not like this. Ow. Fucking snipers, man. They're too slow. Oh, not like this. He's halfway better here. I'm getting knocked around. And I think part of it is that my... Alright, why he just fucking murdered that thing, how funny. Or if it's my knockback resist. I'm not used to not getting staggered at all. Quite interesting. So we got 4 here. We have an unfortunate thing here, but we're just gonna find. Thing real quick. Getting gunned down like a dog this time. Though this game is a very easy to manipulate director, so if you're low HP and you have no stim and you open up a crate, it is pretty much guaranteed to give you a stim. Can these snipers get out of here? I already have a feeling this game's gonna summon these guys on me at the very end. Like, that's what's in my future. It's just a preview. That was a stupid play of mine. Usually, if you're fighting the snipers and you have to use your jump pack, you should never actually charge up your jump pack strike when they're aiming at you. They will always hit you out of the sky. You gotta drop it. Like, they're already pre-firing you. You have to like do your jump. Don't actually do your jump pack ground pound. Like, if you're in the air, don't hold the button down. That's what I mean. And they won't be able to kill you. Jesus. Do this.
Explosive offering prepared.
Yeah, that's a rookie mistake, as they say in the space. I don't know what space that is. Do it that way.
That ravenous they have succeeded only in extending this battle.
Let us use more bombs, just to be safe.
Let him corner you and then pop him.
Let us use more bombs, just to be safe.
Look at this heavy bot just standing here. Funny. Let's plant this one and get out of here.
Rain cleansing fire. We need only await the creature now.
The Hive
Go
Tyrant
on
will reach your
down.
position shortly. Join the Imperial Guard defenses up on the bridge and lure that Xenos Colossus into the kill zone.
We're going up, I should say. It is an elevator after all, to a bridge of us. I wish there were more maps in this game to like showcase guardsmen in the actual map. Because, like, I mean, you know, surely no bias here from a guy named First Tour Guardsman. But I like guardsmen, and the more I get to see them, the better. And I would say like the power sword's fun. I don't know if like the block weapon has great damage, but the bigger issue would be that it kind of has a negative synergy with the assault class. Just because assault really doesn't like to actually he really needs like AoE on his ground pound for things like Zealous Blow. And this kind of works against that. Doesn't have very good AoE. Same thing with the Chainsword.
Without armor support to tackle a target that big.
I guess I'll take the Guardian Relic in case we should. You never know. Maybe we'll die like 5 times, but
Negative.
it seems unlikely.
Is the Hive Tyrant on the bridge. Defend this position until the Tyrant command unit is executed.
Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support.
What's up, Shao? How you doing? Oh, and I always try to save them from dying on this part. Me too. You know, guys, don't let the guardsmen die. That's the biggest thing. It's actually mandatory on this mission to auto-fail if you let guardsmen die. Didn't know. True story. I'm making it up. Something I did fuck my game because my frames are absolutely chugging right now. You know, fun fact, the Exorcist armor in this game is like the worst rendition of an actual chapter armor they've ever done, like the base color scheme. It looks nothing like a normal Exorcist. Like, even the trim is incorrect. I feel like I'm playing in slow-mo. I can't tell if it's the power sword because of my frames, but something.
You have its attention. It is moving to intercept. Apply more pressure.
This is probably the worst horde clear in the weapon in the game right now with how slow it goes. It actually can't swing in between one of our gun slices. It's too slow. Power roll then? Yeah, a lot of people struggle to fight Minoras while using block weapons. You really just have to know. You gotta use your backdash for once. Like, you know, number one tip I could ever say to people that are struggling with Minoras hordes and they need to like parry them. Just tap your dodge key, you know, do like this little dash. This will give you invincibility frames. Pretty much do that after like do an attack and you just backdash. And that will save you a lot of damage and a lot of headache. And then you can just do a gun strike on them or something. You have to know which what attacks from your weapon will do set up gun strikes. And if you really want to practice it, just practice it with this weapon because this thing is slow as shit. Probably the hardest one to do it with. So if you can do it on this, Chainsword will be a breeze. Total breeze. Now the reason we're not using the power stance a whole lot on this is because our horde clear is already terrible in the Artificer version. Because 2 speed is just awful. And we get more from the speed stance against Majora's, which we're using this for anyways. I would say Power Sword is one of the few weapons where I think the overall fencing version is just blatantly better. or for the most part, it's better. But the block versions are still good too.
Confirm the lieutenant's
I feel like the relic version of this one kind of needs like a little bit of a rework of its stat spread. I don't think there's any world where, like the fencing version of a weapon should have a higher stat spread for damage than its block variant. That's just me though.
Stubborn bastard really is still kicking.
Yeah, it's a little backdash here on the note of that. That's probably one of the most useful things ever in this whole game, especially if you're playing heavy. Like, if you start to learn that in heavy, life will be easier. Alright, let's slice this guy down.
Another alien falls to the Imperium's keen blade.
I like your style.
Damning praise.
I mean, it feels good to chop them in half, I guess.
I am an instrument of the Emperor. I am trained to engage the enemy as he will.
One day, Saber Interactive will make a chainsword, or I should say another melee weapon that functions as well with contested health recovery as a chainsword does. Maybe.
To finish it off.
One could dream. Now, I am curious if, like, the next weapon they add is going to be something like a... I know people talk about the Power Axe, but the Power Axe is also just, like, a little model at the intro of the game. Like, when you find all of... I didn't even hear you spawn. I don't know why I did that. I don't have my perk. I was just playing the Wings of Flame build. See, that's good range. Where's this guy, though? There he is. You're not dead yet? There you go. I guess we don't have the priest gun's white damage right now. That sounds like a Biopore. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. I was gonna jump right on that dude. If I can get a couple block charges off of you, you'd be so kind. Alright, one is good enough, I guess. Beggars can't be choosers.
Avenging angel.
Rip my bot. Quickly, we can get our commendation perk off if we ever took that thing. Yeah, on the note of new melee weapons, I heard there was going to be like a Tech Marine in this game. That's what most people are talking about. I wouldn't mind, like, you know, an Omnisaya Buzz Axe. That's just me. Because, like, if you've ever seen the Primaris model on the tabletop for Tech Marine, they do have, like, the giant Omnisaya axe to change the buzzsaw. And I fuck with that, personally. Especially after Rogue Trader, the Magos Explorator you get in that game. It's a companion. Lightning Claws would be cool, too.
Giving chase to this damn thing.
I just feel like it'd be hard for them to differentiate a lot of weapons, so like another two-handed weapon would be pretty cool if it was like more of a slashing thing than the hammer is. Though, you know, real talk, I still think the hammer could do with like a little bit of a buff. Just a little bit. That's all. I know one shot's Extremis, but like I don't think its buff should be damage as much as it should be like maybe stagger, because I don't really see why the melt that has to have so much stagger, and like we're just sitting here with our hammer, having them like walk through it without the especially with like how long it takes to charge. Probably one of the harder weapons to use in the game. Get rid of this guy. This part always turns into a bramble forest. We get one dude. Yeah, I would like it if like the heavier hitting melee weapons in this game actually had.
But it will not evade my reach.
Did I get anything with that? Oh, I got you, kind of. You felt it.
We have purged the zone of mind and matter. The world this Xenos sought to consume now consumes its kind.
Oh, you're an asshole. Come around the corner, try. I knew it was gonna happen too, but you do have hyper armor later than that, so you don't get shot down. I feel like you get hit really close, but that's all. All right, we have a Guardian Relic and 2 stims, so the chances of us dying here are like 0, even if we like fuck up dramatically.
Done running, alien trespasser.
The Emperor demands your purgation.
Oh. See, that's pretty good damage. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah, chunk them. That's what it's all about. That's the sauce. That's the secret sauce, everybody. As the legends foretold, the power sword is finally powerful. Alright, give me it again.
I am the righteous sword. Xenos hunger
It does kind of feel like you're
for the
a great knight holding a great sword with your power sword when it's this slow, though. That's kind of neat. I'm gonna save this. You can knock him out of this next hit he does. Oh, I mistimed it. Okay, well, that's awkward. It would've been great guidance, swear to God. I couldn't stop that. Oh, thanks for just not giving me the parry. This parish. See, this is where the shit becomes annoying. We have to deal with a bunch of little bumpkins here.
The Imperium's hammer rises and strikes.
There we go.
Get up to that.
And that's the block power sword artificer precision strike shank build with the buff power sword. So power rake hits like a truck now, especially on that one. It's actually pretty fun. A lot of damage, a little bit different. Not my usual play style for sure, but pretty fun. Let's take a look what we got here. Unfortunately, we did get shot in the face by a sniper halfway through, but it happens. So for anyone wondering why we're not using the armor reinforcement perk for that run, it's because reason to charge attack damage increase, because that does affect the power sword's power rate. It affects anything that you hold the button down for on your weapon. So like power fist charge, anything like that. 20,000 melee damage, not bad. Look how much damage the heavy's doing here. Man, Vanguard bot not pulling through, I guess. Anyways, that's all for that run. That's pretty good though.